Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. Now, this morning, as we continue our conversation on the October 2024 Carnival right here in Tobago, I have the privilege of sitting in studio and chatting with Mr. Kern Cowan, who is the Chief Executive Officer of the Tobago Festivals Commission. Good morning, Mr. CEO, and how are you doing?
Doing well. Thank you so much for having me here today.
Right. Now, we seen you doing an excellent job in your capacity, down at Shaw Park and managing the entire facility. And now you have gone over to festivals where you are, the chief executive officer over there. But it's no easy feat. You came in at a time where they are preparing for that Tobago Carnival and everything else that's happening in the space. I know that you would have had this conversation before, but so far, how has that been for you?
Well, it's pretty much hitting the ground running. As the first day in office, we had to deal with all of Carnival as it is. We are now the executing arm of the Carnival. So there was a lot of work on the ground to immediately start pulling together budgets and everything that is required to make sure that we have a successful showing for the festival. Added to that, we of course have Blue Food. We have a lot of organizational internal arrangements to settle on. So there were a bunch of different things being done simultaneously at that time. So it's been pretty much an exciting one as it is thus far. But we're getting through.
Right. And the question that everybody wants to know, why did it take so long for a budget to be publicized for the 2024 October Carnival?
I don't know if that it took long, but the budget has always been what it was. It's always been the 9 million, and we are, at the point where we are doing the work to support that.
Okay. Yeah. And why wasn't this made public before? Because we had a number of stakeholders coming out and asking, what is the budget for Carnival? What is the budget for Carnival? But we are only just a few days short of the Carnival, and now we're hearing that it's 9 million.
Right. So the budget, as I said, is what it is. We were planning the Carnival all of the time. We are taking this Carnival from a stakeholder's point of view and trying to do as much as we can to support all of our stakeholders across the board. So it's been, working along with them, ensuring that everything that is needed is supplied. And
I think the biggest worry that comes when a budget is, not made public is who is going to benefit. Right? Persons want to know, stakeholders want to know, okay, if this is the budget, how can I position myself to benefit from this budget? Whether it be, the artists, the persons who are selling on the side of the road for Carnival, whether it's the mass bands, everybody, or even the promoters. How are we going to tap into these resources that are being allocated to benefit? Because for some, this is the only time of year where they see, a huge rise in, patrons and persons, coming to the businesses. So when it comes to how this budget is going to be allocated, how transparent is that process?
The budget, as I said before, is managed by how we plan to execute the Carnival, right? And we have been meeting with all of our stakeholders every Wednesday to ensure that we are close in terms of what they expect, what they're looking for. And I'm talking about from Toka, Pancho Bago, Tuku, all of them, promoters, all of them. We are working to support them tremendously throughout the Carnival. We have been in conversations with them. What are your needs? What do you require? And we have been working with them very closely to execute. So this budget is an all-inclusive budget based on what we need to do to support all of Tobago, all of our stakeholders, all of our viewers, all of the masqueraders. Everybody that has to be a part of the Carnival has been considered in this budget. And it also includes our strength in marketing. We are rolling out our branding as we speak, so you're going to see all of those things happening. So there are activities happening either way you take it. Carnival is here. Carnival has always been here, and Carnival is here in the midst already. So in terms of how the budget is affected or how people are affected by the budget, people are going to be affected by the budget whether or not it's out there. We plan for it, we plan with them in mind, and we are here to support all our stakeholders.
Right. And prior to you coming on the set, we had that interview with Ms. Maslin Ned and Associates, and should have indicated that, you know, for a lot of them, they did not know that the budget was made public. And one of the things that they often look forward to is a bit of a subvention to assist them with preparing for that mass. So how soon would they be able to benefit from that, seeing that the carnival is just a few days away?
So Marcelina and the rest of them are under TOCA. And TOCA is the representing body that we have been meeting with consistently. So in terms of what information has been lacking, that's an internal conversation, right? Because we have been giving all of the information to all our stakeholders, and they are very much abreast of what is taking place going forward. And as I said before, the budget is literally based on the input that they have. So this is a conversation that we need to continuously keep at the front of on front of our lips in terms of how we treat with understanding the information. The budget is there, and the budget, as I said, has been a collaborative point of view from our stakeholders.
Right. And prior to you becoming CEO, who managed the Tobago Carnival before it was given over to the Festivals Commission?
But there was a planning committee in place before now, and we are the ones that took it up in terms of execution as of September 2nd, and have been executing thus far. In terms of its rollout, in terms of its the branding, etc., those are the things that we are specifically working on. The days and the flow, the routes, and all of those things are what we concentrate on. Outside of that, you know, we have the promoters doing their events. All of the parties have been going through, and they are doing their part as well.
But to take it over on the 2nd of September for an October Carnival is quite tight. How has that impacted the promotion for the festival?
Well, it hasn't impacted it at all, because most of the promotion was already in place and has been rolling out since July. They have been doing promotions in Trinidad and in the region. So there has been promotion consistently. If you look at the social media, you will see those things, you know, in existence. You will see the bus crawl and all of the things that they have been doing even before September. So the promotion of the carnival has been consistent. The execution is really the groundwork. You know, so a lot of it has already been in place. It's really the groundwork really taking flight at this time.
Are you confident that the marketing and the communication related to the carnival is sufficient for the type of international and regional support that is needed to help the festival to grow?
Well, let's look at the figures. Right now, we have no flights. Right now, you can't, you know, you have to look around to get a booking somewhere. That tells us a story that there has been information out in the region and external to Tobago that there is carnival happening in this space. So there is enough to tell you that there is going to be a bumper presence of people for the carnival. You can talk with the Tobago Hotel Association, who are telling you that there are some places that are already at 100%, some that are 85%, and you know, the villas are, you know, up to maximum. You know, we are already still conversing with Caribbean Airlines as to where and how much more flights we can have, and that those conversations are happening at the highest level. There is still conversation with the Port Authority. How much more can we do? You know, so we are primarily very close to capacity in terms of how much we can take in the island as it is. That tells you that there is a benefit thus far in what we can have been able to do with the marketing and promotion. But I mean, in the general, you can always say, you know, more could have been done, this could have been done different, and that's a matter of perspective. You know, so we continue to do it our introspection, and we continue to deliver as best as we can.
So can we see next year? I mean, I already saw posters going out for calls for events for the 2025 Carnival.
Yes.
So are you taking the approach of trying to promote and market the event, you know, much further in advance for the 2025 Carnival?
For 2025, all our events need to be promoted much earlier, which we are already taking that stance to do, as you see. Our intent is to, of course, dive straight into our post-mortem meeting the very next week after Carnival with our stakeholders, so that we have a consistent concept that can build and continue to build. And as I said, this is not only just for the Tobago Carnival, but for everything that we have to do. There needs to be a new approach to how we do what we do. But this is not just from the Festivals Commission. This is from a Tobago-based approach as to how we see what we do and how we can support what we have.
Do you think that approaching corporate sponsorship is probably a bit easier for the THA to do than for some of these smaller private entities? Because, you know, we heard from one of the band leaders that it has been difficult gaining the support from the private sector. Is it a better approach, or can we possibly see a better response from the private sector when a larger entity like the THA approaches them, asking them to come on board to be a partner to the festival?
Well, it really depends on your approach. You know, as an entity, how do you approach seeking sponsorship? When do you set yourself out to start to, you know, do what is required to put out your proposals, etc.? Because the same can be said with other band leaders and other bands that have already been heavily promoted and supported, you know, as to how they get what they get. So I can't speak to what their internal mechanism has been, but from the point of view as to who and how, we have also sought sponsorship. We have spread sponsorship in terms of seeking sponsorship across international grounds, Trinidad, even local to Tobago. And we have amassed just about $2 million in sponsorship, which we are already dovetailing into our stakeholders. So we are supporting them either way. But again, it's how you approach what you are trying to do. You know, and we really need to start building capacity on the island as to how we do our proposals, how we engage sponsors, etc., in order to be able to achieve what they need to do as stakeholders in building their own product.
Excellent. Guys, we're going to take a quick break right here. We're going to be back right after this. See you soon. All right. It's a brand new morning, rise up. Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. Now we have been chatting all things Tobago Carnival 2024, the October edition, and this morning we are in studio talking with the CEO, Mr. Kern Cowan. Good morning and welcome back. Now, when I spoke to the band leader previously, I would have touched on the fact that there is a conversation about moving away from the February Carnival and focusing mainly on the October Carnival for Tobago. Is there any insights you can give us on that? Is that a real thing, or is just a speculation?
Let's take it from this perspective. The October Carnival is its own brand and should be marketed separately and apart from National. National will be in itself a place where we can engage in cultural development in terms of transitioning kiddies, carnival, and those sorts of things. What would not be happening in October can happen in February. So the intention is to have a separate feel to both spaces. Not just to abandon February, but to make February different from October.
Understood. Well, I'm glad that you would have clarified that, because I think a lot of persons are thinking that when it comes to moving away from the February Carnival, it's not about shifting it the way it's packaged, but about just not having anything at all.
Yeah, so that wouldn't be realistic for us as an island and as a country, but we just need to support it differently and look at branding it differently and how what we can work February into. All of our festivals, all of what we do has a derived end product, which is to build our capacity on the island, to bring visitors to the island. So anything that we do must have destination Tobago in mind. So whether it's February Carnival, October Carnival, Heritage Festival, whatever it may be, that is our plan.
Right. And when it comes to the communication related to the overall Tobago October Carnival, what strategies have you guys employed, and which partners have come on board to manage that?
Well, first of all, our major communication has been with our stakeholders. And let me name them directly. Toka, Tuku, Panchin, Bego, band leaders, all of them, promoters association, all of them, we sit around the table and we discuss and we make plans and we investigate where can and how can, and all of these conversations have been taking place. And we do this every single week. Beyond that, on our back end, we are trying to, of course, improve in terms of getting information out to the public, working with our partners. Of course, Tobago Updates is one of our local media partners, and we are thankful for their support as we go forward in terms of building the carnival. So we are seeing, increase in how we communicate, bettering what we do before and making strides to really grow going forward.
Right. Do you have one media partner that is an exclusive or the main media partner, or there are a number of media partners that are on board that we can follow to get information regarding the carnival?
We have 2 media partners, but our main media partner is the Tobago Updates.
Okay. Yeah. And the other partner
that is our national partner, which is TTT.
Excellent. So members of the diaspora can tap into Tobago Updates or TTT to follow the main events that are happening for the carnival.
That's right.
In terms of growing the festival, what do you think are some crucial areas that need to be tapped into to help with that expansion?
Again, same conversation would be in terms of working closer with the stakeholders, developing marketing strategies that will bring us presence in every single carnival across the world. Developing airlift that gives us direct flights, not just through Trinidad, but direct to the island, allowing us to build capacity in terms of people on the island, improving the hotel industry. All of these things are what requires to really build the product going forward. From a branding perspective, I think we are in a mature stage, getting to a place where we can now execute differently. And you would see those things happening in year 4 and year 5. So as a new brand, it really takes that amount of time to really get the things going in the way that it should.
And what about utilizing these external events like the Tobago Day to, properly launch the carnival outside? That has been a conversation
as far as I know, Tobago Day had carnival presence there, and they were able to do some activation to promote what they were doing. I know from the Band Leaders Association as well as the promoters were present and were doing the activation there since that time.
And I know of persons who would have said to me, like, when it comes to the marketing and the communication, they submitted proposals to the division, on ideas for how to promote and market the festival without getting any response to that. So how can the persons within Tobago, how can regular citizens come on board to play a part in expanding the festival, when there isn't the type of response that one would desire when they have creative ideas to put forward to grow the festival?
I could only speak from the point of view of the Festivals Commission, and from the point of view of being here at this time. We are very much open to collaboration. And as many as people have ideas, we are open to, discussing it and partnering. We are open to these things because we believe that the voice of the people is important to listen to. And we want to be able to hear what people have to say and make sense of it and see what we can pull. This is not my thing versus your thing. This is our thing. And that's why having all of Tobago's support in everything that we do is so critical. It shouldn't be that we leave it to this one to do and then talk it down. But, where can we support? How can we help? I have this idea, bring it forward. Those are
how can confidence be built with the public in submitting their creative ideas and proposals when sometimes you hear of stories of persons submitting those ideas, the ideas being implemented without even bringing those very same persons on board to execute it?
Right. So, I mean, that's a deeper conversation that, you really want to tread lightly on. If we are partnering, we are partnering. If we are executing, then, what are the limitations or what are the parameters for this execution? So I'm saying, as CEO for Festivals Commission, we are open to working with as many persons to be able to collaborate, growing the product. And let's not just think about Carnival. Let's talk about the island. how do we grow this island to what we want it to be? And, while our mandate is specific to events, it dovetails into everything from infrastructure to everything. So let us all partner together and make this thing work.
Excellent. And we have also heard the conversation in this space regarding moving away from the Tobago Jazz Festival. However, is it that we want to move away from the Jazz Festival on a whole, or move away from it in the form that it has been done in the past, whereby it was solely funded by the THA?
Well, it's a adaptation, let's call it that, where we are going to grow something different and attract a different concept that can be now be developed for a current approach. So it's not just about killing one thing to grow another, but to adapt to changing mechanisms as it is.
Right. And what would that look like for the Tobago Jazz Festival? Does that mean there's no jazz come 2025?
It may not be the name jazz, but I would tell you to stay tuned.
Excellent. Well, I'm happy to hear that. Now that we know what the budget is for Carnival, are there any directives or information regarding the Carnival that you want to put out there that persons can look forward to?
Well, first of all, let's start with Blue Food this Sunday. It's very much on, and that signals the start of everything, really. So Blue Food happens this Sunday from 10 a.m. and it's going to have a carnival flavor in it. While it remains its excellent culinary festival that it is, it's just in the season of what is already happening. Then, of course, Wednesday we go to Carnival City, which is our market square. So you're going to have some disturbance in Market Square in the next couple of days. Expect that, so that you can know how to plan. But Carnival City or Market Square will see the Soca Titans finals being on Wednesday 23rd. Then on Thursday 24th, we go down to the Magdalena for the Tuco Calypso finals. Friday is our Monarchs of Mars, which is also going to be back at Market Square, Carnival City. And then we dovetail into Saturday, where Saturday starts with the Rhythm, Steel and Powder at 5:30, starting from the waterfront all the way up to Market Square once again. And then we have Night Mass, which starts at 9 p.m. and culminates at Market Square. We'll have Pan and Night Mass all together in one. Then, of course, the next morning is Saturday morning, 4 a.m. is Juve, and that takes place on the Carnival Parade route. And then Sunday morning from 10 a.m. is the traditional Mass, and then at 12 p.m. is our, what we call our Pretty Mass. And those things are happening consistently, and we expect to have a good showing going forward.
Excellent. I want to thank you so much, for taking the time out to come in and chat with us this morning on everything that's happening regarding that October Carnival, as well as Blue Food Festival that's happening on this Sunday. And we see that Nadia Batson is on the cards to be there. So it's one that it's one that you don't want to miss, because I guess the whole market will be there.
That's right, the whole market.
The whole market. So guys, this Sunday it's the Blue Food Festival that starts at 10 a.m. and you don't want to miss that, as it kickstarts the Tobago Carnival experience. Stay tuned to Tobago Updates, as we are going to be one of your exclusive partners for this Tobago October 2024 Carnival. So all the updates that you're looking for, all the events, all the routes, all the conversations regarding all that's happening is going to be happening right here. So stay tuned, make sure to like, to share, and to be a part of all the conversations that's happening now. We want to thank you guys so much for being a part of this morning's discussions. Thank you for your likes, thank you for your shares and your comments, and everything that you have been doing to make Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster here on the island of Tobago, and as the official partner for Tobago October Carnival 2024. Again, thank you and have a great day.